Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. Okay, this is our men's advanced Bible study night, 17th of January, 2025. Okay, discussion inside the class will be the truth about Zoroastrianism. We're gonna deal with that. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel to Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos. You can check them out, examine them, get the meat out of them, and throw away the bone. Okay. We on live with our men's advanced Bible study every Friday night, 7 to 9 Central Time. If you want to join us. Okay. This is a non-Messianic channel. For those that don't know, we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our men's advanced Bible study. Okay, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, Sabbath prayer, Psalms, current events. Then we have some need to know information. Then we'll go open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments? And then we go into our topic. Like I said, we'll be addressing truth about Zoroastrianism. So before we get started, anybody wanted to bring a scripture up at the end of the class so we can break it down? Just choose any scripture you want out of the tonight, and then we'll go and we'll read it and then break it down. Somebody want to do that?
I'll choose one, Brother Leonard.
Okay, yeah. All right. So with that being said, this moment of silence is for our Redeemer, Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. O Lord, righteousness. O Lord, we pray unto the Lord our God, and we make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee, and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us a confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, and unto the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries where thou hast driven us, because of our trespass that we have trespassed against thee. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause our faces to shine upon thy people for your sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline your ears to hear and behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do and defer not for thy own sake. For thy people in your land need you desperately at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, read the Psalms. I think we're on Psalm 40. Okay. Okay. This is a prayer for unanswered prayer. Read that. You go to 41. It's the abuse and assurance. Psalm of David. Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord will deliver him into thine trouble. In time of trouble, the Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth. And thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou will make all his bed in his sickness. Yeah, okay. I said, Lord, be merciful unto me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. My enemies speak evil of me. When shall he die and his name perish? And if he cometh to see me, he speaketh vanity. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. When he goeth abroad, he telleth it. All that hate me whisper together against me to do they devise my hurt. An evil disease, say they, cleaveth fast unto him. And now that he lieth, he shall rise up no more. Yea, my own familiar friend in whom I trusted which did eat of my bread, have lifted up his heel against me. Be thou, O Lord, be merciful unto me, and raise me up, that I may requite them. By this I know that thou favorest me, because my enemies doeth not triumph over me. And as for me, thou upholdest me in mine integrity, and setteth me before thy face forever. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel from everlasting unto everlasting. Amen and amen. So that was the Song of David of Psalm 41, abuse and assurance. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, everybody good? So what I gathered out of that was that David said no matter what he learned, no matter what happened, if he stayed on the straight and narrow with the Lord had his back forever and ever. To me, that's one of the examples of showing who our Messiah is. David, okay? So if nobody have no comments, we go to our current events. Okay.
Some issues that are going to affect every single person in the United States. This means people in California will be impacted, people in Texas, in Washington, in North Carolina, New York, Florida, doesn't matter. Every single person will be impacted because of what's going to go on over the next 1 week. I want to break down what's happening, why some experts are really concerned, but why many are saying that what we are about to see is something that we've never seen before. I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, explain the threats that are facing every single American in the United States. So again, I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So there is a massive threat that is facing the U.S., and it has to do with a mass deportation event. Now, a lot of people are speculating, what is this going to look like? Is the Trump administration going to use local law enforcement to arrest people in their homes, in businesses, and in schools? Well, we don't know. We do know that the Trump administration does plan on using the National Guard or U.S. military personnel to assist the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement agents in deporting more than 1 million people. But here's what I want to show you. It says deportation at light speed, how Trump's crackdown could unfold. Now, we're going to go over this in just a moment. I'm going to read a little bit of this to you, but I also want to play you some clips because here's what's been happening over the past several months. Look at this right here, and then I'll explain more in just a minute why this is actually troubling to millions and millions of Americans. Look at this.
Some migrants are already choosing to leave the country voluntarily. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live from San Antonio, Texas this morning with more on this story. Jorge, how many migrants are we actually seeing doing this, leaving voluntarily?
Right now, Mark, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend. This comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
So right there, you got people that are already leaving the United States, going back to their home countries because they are fearful of a deportation. Keep in mind, if you get deported, there are bans that you can actually, that can be in place to where you could be banned from the United States for 10 years or even longer. Listen to this. This person wrote and says, mass deportations will have an immediate impact. Many farmers are already worried that the Trump administration will make it impossible for them to farm. Who's even going to work in the fields? Well, I went and watched several different YouTube videos and I did some research. I found this person that wrote this comment. Listen to this. This was on actually a different channel, but this person wrote on this channel and said, and I quote, everybody says that illegal people from other countries are taking their jobs, but it's not true. A lot of the jobs that they are taking, nobody even wants. I have run a family farm for 15 years where we grow lettuce, onions, cauliflower, and beans. And I have never had to worry about workers until today. Trump says he's going to deport all these people. Now has many people leaving the country on their own. They are worried that they will be taken away from their family and their children will be split up. So this person is saying that the reason why all these migrants are leaving is because they are concerned that the parents are going to be deported, but the children will be looked after. They can be sent to school, they can go to foster care, they can do so many other things. But here's the problem. These families are going to be split up. But the reason why they're leaving, and again, there's so many other reasons, but we are taking people out of the workforce, is what this one person's saying, that farming's going to be different. And I don't know how different it's going to be. All I'm here to tell you is,
have you heard about the salt trick that's making men?
know that more and more illegal immigrants do go to California and jump into the farms. And when they do this, it does help because now we don't have a shortage. Farmers are saying the rest of the country could experience a shortage of fruits and vegetables here very soon if all these different workers are sent back to their home countries. Now, look at this. It says, as Trump presidency looms, the Minneapolis Police Department reaffirms it's not responsible for immigration enforcement. Here's the other threat, not just a threat of a shortage of beans and artichoke and carrots and radishes and things like that. There's another threat. Listen to this right here, okay? And give me your thoughts on this.
He promised to start the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants immediately.
New tonight, the top cop in Minnesota's largest city says his department won't play any part in that. Here's why.
We need to be able to reduce crime in the city. And the only way we are able to do that is if people feel safe enough and comfortable enough that they can trust that they can call the Minneapolis police and not fear deportation because of it.
So right there, the Minneapolis police chief says that if people don't feel safe, they're not going to call the police department. So they're not going to even entertain the idea of partnering with ICE, okay? But I want to show you something else. Look at this. This right here says Tren de Aragua asylum seeker and migrants trafficked arsenal of weapons across New York City. Says the migrants are accused of selling semi-automatic pistols, shotguns, rifles, and ghost guns in the Bronx and Manhattan. Okay. Now I want to play you this clip as well. Listen to this.
This is the next level of preoccupation that the Trump administration has to focus, because these individuals are armed and dangerous. And it's not like when you go pick them up, they're going to, I think, go easily and into the custody of ICE officials or other immigration officials. And they're going to put up a fight.
So right there, he is saying that, and this is a former ICE agent, says that no Tren de Aragua members, okay? And again, this doesn't just pertain to gang members. This could be just your regular average family member where they are concerned that they're being ripped away from their family. So they're going to fight. They're going to fight local police officers. They're going to fight ICE agents. They're going to do whatever they can so that they don't get apprehended. So this is why some say this is a massive threat. And this is just the beginning of this threat. And this is where the Trump administration has already said that if they need to call in the U.S. military to assist ICE agents and local law enforcement, they will do that. But again, we could see some major cities where we have U.S. military personnel parading up and down the streets, just assisting ICE agents and local law enforcement. So,
okay, any comments on that?
I just want to say that, things are getting serious. And I remember when I lived in Lawrence, Massachusetts, we had a fight that broke out between the Latins and the French there, and it got to a point where they had to impose martial law. So I was able to see martial law firsthand. And I'm going to tell you, it's no party. There's no fun in that. These people, they're not like the regular police. They informed me that if they see me outside after 8 o'clock, that I'd be shot in the spot. And they weren't joking around. These guys were on every corner with machine guns. So I got a little microcosm of what it's going to look like when these people do it on a mass scale. And once that happens, we're trapped. There's nothing we can do.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a plan. So they got a hidden plan pertaining to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, what they did the other day when they tried to accuse the Nation of Islam of participating in what happened in New Orleans. Okay. So yeah, you're right.
Grasping at straws.
Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, we go to our next. Nobody else have any comments on that? Okay.
Oh, shalom, brother Leonard. I was gonna say this to me, because you've been keeping us updated on on the immigration and the migrants all last year, all through your class. But I'm looking at how it they're making sure that they keep saying about that gang, the Venezuelan gang. They keep making sure to mention their characteristics, meaning you know, the things they're doing and that they're violent and basically that they're thugs. Well, that's what they always call us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, and so they're trying to get them out of here. So that's what's gonna get us out of here. I'll just kind of reiterating which I think you had said that one time, but I can just see it. They not saying that yet, that we gonna get the Hebrews out of here too, but that's what they already call us. They saying we want the thugs and the criminals out of here, and that's who they consider us to be.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they was continue to say all the way up until this big migrant invasion. And then all of a sudden they turned that toward them, but we know that it's toward us.
Right, yes, sir.
Exactly. Anybody else got anything on that? Yeah, here go another trick they got going on too right here.
Smile in your face. So there was a ceasefire agreement. That pressure from Trump was put onto Benjamin Netanyahu. And like many predicted, Israel is finding a way to delay the ceasefire. Now, the ceasefire is supposed to start this Sunday. And Israel has found a way to push back and say, no, 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 we are not ready. Netanyahu delays cabinet votes on Israel-Gaza ceasefire deal and hostage release. So this happened earlier today. An Israeli cabinet meeting to approve a ceasefire and hostage deal with Hamas was delayed on Thursday morning after Minister Netanyahu accused the militant group of reneging on parts of the agreement. So you guys see what I told you? This is what they continue to do. Israel will be the one to back away or delay, and they'll put the blame on Hamas when Hamas already agreed to the deal. This is what it's been. Netanyahu's office said the cabinet would not convene until Hamas accepted all elements of the deal. A Hamas official said on social media that the group is committed to the agreement announced on Wednesday. Neither provided any further details. So here we go again. And this is something that Donald Trump's going to have to deal with this, because the thing is, Benjamin Netanyahu is not going to allow himself to be controlled. And so what ultimately is going to have to happen, which I've said before, is that the US is going to have to cut off funding to Israel, because people understand funds. Once you tell people we can't give you any more weapons, we can't give you any more funding, all of a sudden people listen, they're getting the stuff from us. So without us, you see what I mean? So this is something that he's going to have to deal with. I would not be surprised, and keep your ear open, because when I show you what one of the members of the Likud party is saying, keep your ear open and your eyes peeled, because I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to push Netanyahu out in order to get this done. Because it's wild and crazy, fam. An official briefed on the talk, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive negotiations, said teams from both sides are continuing to meet to discuss how hostages and prisoners will be released and to finalize details around the implementation and monitoring of the deal. So if you're just joining, we're seeing this now, that Netanyahu delays cabinet vote on Israel-Gaza ceasefire hostage release. And that's because it's never really been about the hostages. What they want to do is eliminate the Palestinian people, and they want to take the land. The Gaza Strip has a number of resources along the coast. They want those resources. They want that land. They already, like the Likud party, they already created like this document that showed what Gaza would look like once they took control of it. And it had all these different buildings of like resorts, etc. So that's what they want. They want the land. They don't want the people there at all. They don't want them to have a Palestinian state. And that's unfortunate, because the moment that the ceasefire negotiations were announced, you could see that there were Palestinians celebrating in the Gaza Strip. They were very excited. Trump. Look at this. I want you to listen to something that Trump said here.
But a lot will have to do with Israel and whether or not Israel wants to make the deal. As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit. We'll work something out, but I would like to see a deal be made. It might be a bigger and better deal than people in this room even understand. That's a possibility. So let's see what we do. Doesn't sound too optimistic, but that's... I was disappointed in Bibi, just on a personal basis. I thought he wanted to make a deal more than Netanyahu.
So he's talking about this gentleman here. All right. So he's talking about this gentleman here from Gaza, that he wanted to make a deal more than Netanyahu did. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. Donald Trump knows Netanyahu ain't shit. Just like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris know that. But if nobody stops this insane lunatic, what is to become, what else is Israel going to do? If no one stops Netanyahu and Likud party from what they're trying to do right now, what else are they going to do? It has become one of the most racist states, very discriminatory, apartheid state. What else are they going to do?
And I will be honest, I had a great meeting with him, Abbas, right? I had a great meeting with him, and we spent a lot of time together, talked about many things. And it was almost like a father. I mean, he was so nice.
Abbas was so nice, he said. It's Netanyahu is the one who is not. Israel is the one that wants to keep it going. Couldn't have been. We'll play a little bit more here. We're not going to play too much of it.
Others reported Israeli soldiers repeatedly touching their genitals and brutally beating those who tried to resist. They then took women and girls to a separate location, assaulting and threatening them on the way. Upon arrival, they dragged them by their hair, forced them into the toilets, and ordered them to undress.
And we're not going to go into all the details because that can be triggering for some people. But now, do you hear what's coming out? They've been doing this. When you're in a position of power and you're occupying the people that are you consider to be beneath you, they do all kinds of things to these people. All kinds of things. That's what we're saying when we talked about the prisons, right? And then this guy, you have to hear his story. This gentleman here, I believe he's a teenager. He's very young, journalist. I want you to hear what he said. Again, this is the press, the people who they also tried to kill.
These are not my words, but the words of every single one here, standing here, after 459 days of the most well-documented and first live-streamed genocide in history. For these days, we've been reporting tirelessly, extensively, and thoroughly on this genocide. It's indeed a genocide against us, which we've been documenting in makeshift tented camps and workplaces. They are really the places we've taken shelter since day one. You've seen us shedding tears over our loved ones, colleagues, friends, and family members. You've seen us killed in every possible way. We've been immolated, incinerated, dismembered, and disemboweled. And recently, we've been freezing to death. What more ways should you be seeing us killed in so that you can move and act and stop the hell inflicted upon us?
Okay, any comments on that?
Well, with Shalom, well, with Netanyahu, it sounds like he's acting like Trump, Brother Leonard, just as far as evading the courts and all of that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah, because he got a pass with the higher ups. He doing their business. That's how he's able to do that, like Trump was. There's no way under the sun he went through all the court systems, got 34 counts, and still the president. That's a disgrace. And so it's the same thing over there. It's a higher power, higher authority that's got a hidden agenda that's using these people. Like I said, the way they used Napoleon Bonaparte, they used Hitler. Same thing going on today. Same people dictating what's going to happen in the world. Okay, but their time ran out. Anybody else got any comments on that?
Yeah, does anybody know where I can get that red pill?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to get off the matrix here, bro. Something just doesn't jive with me, okay? I've been watching this from the beginning, okay? And it doesn't make sense that you have the Houthis and you have Iran and you have Palestinians and you have Syria and you have all these other countries that are supposedly all bombing together Israel, and yet it's still standing up, and they're talking about a Palestinian state. That doesn't even fit what the scripture says. So either this is all a facade, or if it's real, it doesn't make any sense. It just no logical sense whatsoever. So I don't know what to believe anymore, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's a hidden agenda. They have their own end time scenario that they have. They want to rule the world for 1,000 years from Jerusalem. It's not gonna happen, but that's what they've set up. That's what the New Testament is all about. They got a hidden agenda that they're trying to bring about. And they're using the technology that they've acquired over the years to do it. And like I said before, anybody with their eyes open can see that it's not adding up with what was written in the Revelations. It's not unfolding. It's totally different end times that the Lord of hosts spoke of. That's what we at now was unfolding. They participating in it, but they think they directing it, but they participating in it. They're doing everything he said they was gonna do. That's what we're looking at. Okay.
It's a
Everybody get
shame,
on?
though. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely a shame, but I mean, me looking at it, I'm happy as a law because of
But I'm
he's giving
I'm
me.
saying that it's a shame because they're using the same sorry ass program, and
Right.
it's never worked. It's the same
Right.
exact 10-step program that Hitler used, and
Exactly.
it's failed time and time again. And yet these people, what is the epitome of being, a psycho? Is doing the same thing over and over, expecting something different. And these people, they don't, I guess, read their own history to see that it doesn't work, it never worked, and it never will work.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, yeah,
And
you're right.
oh,
Go ahead.
Shalom, I was gonna say, like Yosef just said, brother Yosef, you just said that they're insane. And brother Linda, you taught too that they're a nation without understanding. So they gonna
Exactly.
keep, doing the same thing. It's their way. And it's even more crazy because when you was playing the video, brother Leonard, I'm like, wow, they said they plan to take that land and make some damn resorts on them. It's not
Exactly.
even like they want to do something good with the land. You
Right.
want to put resorts on it, and that just shows their nature, and even on this show I watch sometime, you know, just to study characteristics, but it's called Yellowstone. And
Yeah.
on there, the government, they're trying to take his land, and that's what they want to do. They want to build a ski resort and put an airport on it, and
Exactly.
do that kind of stuff, just stuff to make money. And even still, when he's asking the lady, like, why, like, this is people's land, y'all don't need this land, y'all could choose somewhere else, it's like the she said, because we can. and
Mm.
and then and then that shows that they really think that they're in charge. You know what I'm saying? They really disregard the Lord of hosts. They act as if they're the supreme authority, and they're not.
Exactly. Right. But while you were saying that, is that not what Esau cried for when he came and found out that Jacob had received the blessing? He cried to his father and said, "Do you not have a blessing for me?" And then Isaac told him, "Yeah, you're gonna be in the fat places of the earth, but you're gonna get them by the sword." So that Yellowstone is a prime example.
Right. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, you can go even further than that. Look what they did in New Orleans. Okay, yeah, they got a futuristic plan for New Orleans. That's why so much chaos been happening in New Orleans. Ain't that something? Anybody else got anything on that? Yeah.
Destroy and rebuild.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, that goes back to, like I was saying, when you understand who these people are, that's why you can see in this cycle that's keep on happening over again. They rise up, like we was just talking about. How can a man have 34 counts in the criminal system in the U.S. and still become the president? Because they have a hidden agenda for him. Just like Hitler came, look what he caused. He caused all this destruction, tore up all his real estate, and then they came with all the money and rebuilt it. Matter of fact, I got a video in a minute that's gonna show you that. But they tore up all this stuff, then they came back and rebuilt it. That's where you get all these people like uh 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 Bill Gates and all of them. They making the money off of their real estate. They tearing up stuff and then come back and rebuilding it. So that's what they're doing. Because if you got the money, then you can dictate everything else. So they keep on tearing up everything and rebuilding it and stacking on top of their wealth from the rebuilding processes. These big, huge projects are rebuilding. That's how they make the money. That's why they got these wars over and over again. They got these wars. They're making money off of the ammunition that's being used in the wars, and then they're making money off of the rebuilding of the lands that's been torn apart from the wars. So the money and the power that they received after World War II, then played out. So now they got another war. They're setting up so they can rebuild, restock on their wealth and get more power. That's what their objective is. That's what they're doing. That's why you keep seeing this cycle going over and over again. Yeah. Any comments? Yeah, I got some need to know information right here. I kind of talked about this a little bit, but we're gonna let this dude say what he has to say. Then we'll come back and bounce off of a lot of the things that we already know from the videos we have on Prophets of Awakening. But let's play it.
The Bible? Not quite. In fact, not quite. In fact, the 1611 King James Bible included more books than the Bible most of us know today. There was a whopping 80 books in total. But here's where it gets fascinating. The Ethiopian Bible has even more books, yet it's still missing some that are found in the King James. Surprised? What if I told you that no Bible tradition has everything? And exploring these
it's the same thing I was saying about how can a man have 34 counts and then go through all those court systems, running for the president at the same time and win. He won the presidency. It's crazy. It's an insult to any intellectual or anybody that say they have any kind of intellect. It's an insult. Same thing right here. What this brother talking about. How can you say, how can you believe anything that's being said when what he's telling you right here about how these books been hoodwinked and twisted all around, right?
Differences reveals treasures we've never even imagined. Let's uncover the truth about the books that are missing, included, and completely unique to these Bibles and what it means for our understanding of the scripture. There's a popular claim that King James removed 20 books from the 1611 King James Bible. However, the truth is that King James neither translated a single word of this Bible, nor did he personally decide which books should be included. The translation was undertaken by 47 highly skilled scholars, organized into 6 different companies, each assigned specific portions of the text. The 1611 King James actually listed 80 books, including a separate section for the Apocrypha, 14 books placed between the Old and New Testament. Let me show you these books. The Old Testament has 39 books, the New Testament 27, for a total of 66 books. The Apocrypha has 14 books, 66 plus 14, 80. These books were 1st Esdras, 2nd Esdras, Tobit, Judith, additions to Esther, Wisdom of Solomon, Sirach, also called Ecclesiasticus, Baruch, including the Epistle of Jeremiah, the Song of the Three Holy Children, the story of Susanna, Baal and the Dragon, the Prayer of Manasseh, 1st and 2nd Maccabees. All of these books were valued for their historical and instructional purposes. Although for many, they were not considered equal to the other 66. They were regarded as useful and good to read. However, in 1826, the British and Foreign Bible Society decided to exclude them from print of future editions, refusing to fund their publication. Following this precedent, the American Bible Society adopted a similar policy in 1827, determining that no Bibles issued from their depository should contain the Apocrypha. And by 1885, most Protestant Bibles no longer included these books. Now, here's where it gets interesting. While the 1611 lists 80 books, the count changes depending on how they're grouped. For example, Baruch and the Epistle of Jeremiah are sometimes treated as one book in other traditions. The additions to Daniel, which are Susanna, Baal and the Dragon, and the Prayer of Azariah, are sometimes integrated into the book of Daniel in other editions, but listed separately in the King James Bible. Similarly, the additions to Esther are grouped with the canonical Esther elsewhere, but listed separately here in the King James Bible. So while the 1611 King James Bible lists 80 books, it aligns more closely with the Catholic Bible's 73 when grouped similarly. Far from removing books, King James preserved a rich tradition that later Protestants abandoned. Now, let's talk about the Ethiopian Bible, which is often called the most complete Bible. While it included the 66 universal books most Christians know, its narrow canon adds 6 more. First Enoch, Jubilees, First, Second, and Third Maccabean, the Book of the Covenant, Didascalia, and the Book of Clement. The broad canon of the Ethiopian Bible can stretch to as many as 88 books, depending on how these texts are grouped. Get this, if you go to the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahida Church Faith and Order website at ethiopianorthodox.org, you will see that they have listed 46 books of the Old Testament and 35 books of the New Testament, bringing a total of canonized books to 81 books.
Did you know that the most dangerous prayer you can ever pray is only 3 words? If you skip this healing prayer,
Any comments so far? Okay.
While the Ethiopian Bible has these unique treasures, it's missing key texts found in the 1611 King James Bible, including First Esdras, Second Esdras, and the Prayer of Manasseh. Both the Ethiopian Bible and the 1611 King James Bible share many texts, including Tobit, Judith, Wisdom of Solomon, Sirach, called Ecclesiasticus, Baruch, including the Epistle of Jeremiah, First Maccabees, and Second Maccabees. However, the Ethiopian Bible includes First, Second, and Third Maccabean instead of First and Second Maccabees. The 3 books of Maccabean, which are distinct from the Maccabees found in other traditions, are considered canonical only within the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. This distinction highlights how each tradition reflects its unique worldview, theological priorities, and historical context. Think of the Bible not as a single book, but a vast library, a collection of sacred texts preserved across time and geography. The King James Bible preserves one section, the Ethiopian Bible another, and the Catholic Bible yet another. Together, they form a rich tapestry of faith. For example, First Enoch, included in the Ethiopian Bible, is directly quoted in the King James Bible in the book of Jude. Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all. But its influence doesn't stop there. It echoes through 2 Peter 2:4, which describes angels cast into chains of darkness. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 19 and 20, which mentions spirits imprisoned since the days of Noah. Just one part of the picture. What if exploring these other canons could enrich our faith and uncover treasures we've overlooked? So, did King James really remove 20 books from the Bible? Absolutely not. The 1611 King James Bible included the 14 books of the Apocrypha that were later removed from the Protestant editions in 1885, totaling a whopping 80 books. Similarly, the Ethiopian Bible includes texts that are not found in the King James Bible. But the King James Bible includes books that are not found in the Ethiopian Bible. Each reflects its community's unique worldview and priorities.
Okay. You haven't got any feedback from that? What you think? Any comments on that? So my reason for me playing this is, like I've been screaming, ever since I started the channel, is we were scattered. They don't know where all the Israelites at. Everybody's speculation on where who's who on the Israelites. Well, the books were also scattered. Same problem they got with us as Israelites. They got the same thing with the scriptures. So it goes back to, like I said before, it kills the fact of the New Testament and JC because he scattered the books. He said, Daniel said that the Most High's indignation became to a fool. He was through with the temple. He was through with the Israelites, so he had the temple torn down. Right, he had it burned down at first by Nebuchadnezzar, and sent them to Babylon. Gave them, they was in Babylon 70 years, but they came back and they picked back up with the same thing they was doing. That caused them to go into captivity in Babylon. And so in the book of Daniel, Gabriel come and tell Daniel, the Most High through with you. His indignation that came to a fool. So he scattered us, scattered his word, and tore down the temple.
Just want to say, I heard them mention 3 books of Maccabees. I was in the impression there was 4. I thought I read 4 different books of Maccabees. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's got 4 Maccabees, but you
Okay,
got to
because
look
they
at
only said 3 books, and I'm like, I knew there was 4 books. And just a suggestion, maybe, I don't know, at some point in time, maybe we can, as a group, go through some of these books. I mean, from the beginning to end.
Right. Yeah. The thing about that is, right. When you look at that, from me observing it, was they got like 3 books of Enoch, and that 3rd book is, oh man, when you just read it, you can know that those Edomites that got hold to it in Alexandria, Egypt. It's the same thing with those 3rd and 4th Maccabees. Edomites got hold to. That's what that is. That's they extension on. That's them. When you read it, you can tell.
You see, the problem is that a lot of these, and I've read through quite a few of these different versions, and from one to the next, it could be said that it's not exactly saying the same thing, even though they word it differently. And some people say, well, they're just expressing themselves differently. If you go to your original language, you can see that some of the stuff that they did was nefarious. And so people who are good intention of our brothers that are reading the scriptures and stuff like that, they're arguing with other people reading a different version of the scripture because they understand it differently. So now we have all our people fighting back and forth and all that. And I don't know how that is going to serve anybody. But, like I say, I like to keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness, he tells us what righteousness is. And that is in accepting the fact that he exists and in honoring him by keeping the 10 commandments. I always try to keep that as a premise with everybody I talk to. It's like, yeah, we can talk about all these other things, but this is the premise in which he said that we were considered righteous. And if he doesn't change and he says there's nothing new, then in the same way he found Abraham righteous, I'm going to assume, and hopefully rightly so, that in the same way he would see us as righteous. And so we wouldn't have to be arguing about things that say one thing here, one thing there. Although we have to discuss all these things anyway, but always understanding that at the very end, we'll know exactly what is what. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, we talked about that. I think it was Wednesday night. It came up. Ezekiel, Isaiah 66. When you read it for what it's actually saying, he's going to resurrect. Isaiah 66 is referring back to Ezekiel 37. He's going to resurrect our forefathers out of their graves. But these Negroes, with the Christianity take on it, they thinking that it's symbolic or it's some kind of metaphor. It's metaphoric, or that when he says he's going to raise Israel up, is that we here today, the Israelites that's here today, are in a dead state. He's going to refresh our minds. No, the prophecy in Ezekiel 37, it ain't even for us. it was told to our forefathers before they passed away that he was going to resurrect them and that they was going to judge the earth. And same way with David. Before David died, he told David, I'm going to resurrect you. So it's not symbolic. That's Christianity. That's thinking like a Gentile. So when he says, he told David, I'm going to resurrect you in the last days. And David is one that's going to be used. So when you go to Isaiah 66 with that understanding, that's what he's telling you in Isaiah 66. He's going to resurrect our forefathers, and then he's going to use Elijah, one of the anointed ones, right? David, the other one. He's going to use Elijah to bring both of us back together. And so when you go to Isaiah 66, it tells you, let me read it. When you go to Isaiah 66, it says, right, so you go to Isaiah 66, it says in start at verse 8, who have heard such a thing? Who have seen such a thing? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? What nation? Our forefathers. He said he's going to resurrect them. He already told them that. And he's bringing this up now for all. So for as soon as Zion starts travailing, right? We know how that works. When a woman gets to 9 months, the time appointed, she started travailing. So he didn't already prophesied he's going to resurrect them. So when Zion started travailing, she brought forth her children. Who are children? Our forefathers. That's in Malachi chapter 4 when he says he's going to bring Elijah and bring the children, which is us, the seed from those people that's on the earth today. He's going to bring the children back to the fathers that he's going to resurrect right here. So that's why he says, as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. That's our forefathers. All the ones we've been reading about. And then some we don't even know shit about. You're going to resurrect all of them. Then 9, shall I bring the birth, right? Or not cause to bring forth, said the Lord. Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, said the Lord? No, he ain't did that with none of us. When the mama got to 9 months, the water broke, he ain't stopped us from coming out. We had to come out because it was already ordained. He already set it in motion. When the water break, you coming out. So the same thing right here. 10, rejoice ye with Jerusalem and be glad with her, all ye that love her. See that? That's the remnant right there. All these Negroes don't love Israel. They think they do. They half-ass away. So he says, all ye that love her, rejoice with for joy with her, all ye that mourn. Here you go. 11, that ye may suck. What are you talking about? All the information right there, all our forefathers. We ain't got to go to the scriptures no more. If David killed Goliath, he's standing right there. Whatever Manasseh did, he's standing right there. I can ask Manasseh. Right? He says, rejoice ye with Jerusalem, be glad with her, all ye that love her, rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck, right? And be satisfied with the breast of her consolation. That's all our forefathers. That's the breast of Israel. That's Zion's breast consolation is Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Habakkuk, all standing there. We ain't got to go to scriptures no more. Even the ones that he hid from us, like that was with David, Nathan. We know Nathan got a book. Gad, we know he got a book. So we ain't got to go look for the book. Gad gonna be standing right there. We can ask him. So he says that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolation, that ye may milk out. See that? Milk out, right? And be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus said the Lord, behold, I will extend peace unto her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck and be sad, and be born upon her side, and be dangled upon her knees. So I never really shared this with nobody, but when I was coming up, like I said, country boy, in Louisiana, and we had hogs. My old man had hogs. My old man was like about 6'4", broad shoulders, big neck. You know, he wasn't. You had to give him 50 feet. He wasn't nothing nice. So anyway, we had hogs that we had, and not only had hogs, we had wild hogs that he was put them in pens, and we had to feed them. You know, we fed them 3 times a day. Then when the time came to slaughter one of them, you know, he got in the pen. He got in there with him. Everybody else was scared of him, but he got in the pen. The bull hog knew why he got in there. He got in there to castrate him, cut his balls off, and then he kill him. He knew that. So he kicked and screamed, did all this bull crap he wanted to do, but he still got his balls cut off and his throat cut. That's what we're looking at right now. The Most High Lord of Hosts already prophesied all this. All they doing is kicking and screaming. The Lord of Hosts got in the pen. He gonna cut their balls off and cut their throat. It's gonna happen. That's where we at. So everything else is side talk. He already done prophesied it. Right? So that's how that go. Any comments? Yeah, so anyway, we was on let me see where I was at. The books, yeah, we deal with the books of King James. All right, now we're gonna go to I'm gonna open it up as a Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they want to talk about? Something they came across they want to talk about?
I sent you a video. I don't know if you ever got it.
What is it?
It had to do with this brother who had a prophetic dream, and that he is talking about these ships he's seen along all the coastlines, and the way he described it, it was sounded like he wasn't making it up. But I sent you the video, so when you get a chance, you can take a look at that.
Yeah, I think we got a class. We got 2 classes on that. Is that the guy that had the glasses on, and he was talking about how?
That sounds like him. Yeah.
Yeah. We went over there. Yeah. I was feeling that, and like I said before, when you go back to, they telling us all through the scriptures, all through social media, but especially through Hollywood. They showed in the movie 2012 that they had all these. They were sending out all these different. They had what they call like postcards. But they had soldiers going around all over the world. Korean soldiers going all over the world, bringing these postcards to certain people that they had chose to get on. They had made 4 big old ships, humongous ships for people to get on because they knew the earth was going to be destroyed with water. And so they sent out all these postcards. So everybody that was anybody had to go to China to board these ships. So anyway, after it all went down, everybody got on the ships, and the water came and covered the whole earth. Then they looking on the GPS trying to find land like Noah did, and the land they found was in the Horn of Africa, West Coast of Africa, Negro land. They did the same thing on the movie about the train. I can't think of the name of the movie. Somebody might can think of it. But it was this train. They had built this huge train for like 1,000 and some can't think of compartments or cars, and it was for the had a list for certain people that could get on it, and the rest of them couldn't because of what they had did to the earth, the climate change. The earth is gonna froze. The earth froze like the Antarctic. And then so they was on this train for a certain amount of years, and then finally at the end of the sitcom, they found land, and it was in Africa. So they telling us right here how it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down in Africa. They're telling you where the land of Israel is. It's all right in the movies, but you got to be in a certain place to even even perceive any of that. You got to be in a certain place. Yeah.
Is that Snowpiercer?
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
Yes, sir.
Right at the end of it, the GPS come up and it tells you that they on they found it. They finally found the earth was started warming up again, and it was in Africa. Matter of fact, that part of Africa had never even got cold. They just found out, through they were shooting out these balloons with GPS and all type of AI on it, and then those balloons detected that it was laying in Africa. Same way on 2012 with the ships. So they already and then they told us that by 2030, 2035, 90% of the world gonna be in Africa. So they already told us what the deal is. But like I said, you got to be in a certain place to even perceive what they're doing. Yeah, so they're screaming out, telling us what's up. Well, yeah, like I said, I got a video that's gonna verify a lot of that in a minute. Yeah, so let me go to here you go right here. This play this and then we'll go into our topic. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, let me get it. I think it went off. Let me get it. Hang on a minute. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. I'll play this other video I got. I don't see it. It disappeared on me. No.
I just want to say, bro, don't forget that at 9 o'clock I have to check out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If we don't make no contact, hit me up at 12 tomorrow.
All right, no problem.
Okay, let me play this right here. Yeah, they're using propaganda against Tory now. They tried to assassinate him on 20 different times, but now they're using propaganda machine. Okay, let's look at it.
Traoré of Burkina Faso, but we're not gonna stop. When things are bad, we complain all the time. Well, the service is really poor. Well, the colors are not bright enough. Well, the water is really green. But when things are good, we don't say nothing. You know what I mean? When presidents are doing garbage, we don't, we speak about it. We blame them. We say the roads are poor, there's no water. When they do good things, we should be able to speak about it. Ibrahim Traoré, president of Burkina Faso, he's at it again. Okay, let's listen to him. I'll make a comment right after.
Les enfants du Congo meurent depuis des années. Plusieurs autres conflits, tels le Soudan, existent sur le continent. Nous aurions aimé voir l'Union africaine générer les forces et toutes les stratégies nécessaires pour soutenir ces États pour qu'ils puissent retrouver la paix.
Congolese people are dying every single day. Fellas, here's Congo, DRC, beautiful country, lovely people. They love music and parties. They're good people. Okay, never really into crimes and stuff like that. And if they want to marry one of your daughters, usually they're very good husbands too. Now, in the Congo, people are dying every single day. You maybe don't know this, you're not aware of this. Congo is the richest country in the world in terms of minerals. Now, we have this organ named the African Union that was built with the goal of sustaining Africa, of managing African issues and problems. Okay, so if a country has a problem, the African Union will find a way to find a solution. Now, Congo has been at war for almost 30 years. Okay, there are armed groups and all this type of stuff. How did the armed group get in? Well, the DRC, like I said earlier, is the richest country in the world. They have all minerals you can think about. Gold, there's plenty of it. Diamond, uranium. Matter of fact, the uranium used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the ones Americans used to create the atomic bomb, was mined from the Congo. It's here in Shinkolokwe. That's where they got it. That's in 1945 already. So Congo's lithium, cobalt, coltan, many, many other things. And some of these stuff, lithium is what you need for electric cars. So Elon Musk is probably got friends in the Congo in some ways. I'm just saying. So in order for you to have electric cars and make batteries, you need lithium. Congo is the biggest producer, or at least one of the biggest producers. You need coltan. The uranium in the Congo can help create nuclear electricity. The DRC also has this river. It's called the Congo River. It's the biggest river in Africa and second biggest in the world. It's the deepest river and the second longest river after the River Line. This river has enough power with this project of hydroelectricity to produce enough electricity to feed the entirety of Africa forever. Should I repeat myself? The River Congo, with the project they had started many, many years ago, that's never finished, was capable of producing enough electricity to service the entirety of Africa, but they stopped it. So as you can understand, Congo has a lot of things, but there is war. Why is there war? There's war in the Congo because everybody want to be part of it. Everybody want to eat, fellas. iPhone want to eat, Samsung want to eat. They need components, and some of the most crucial components are in the Congo, in the mines. So there are two ways to do it. You can come to the Congo and buy the components or buy the goods officially at the government, which will definitely cost you a lot of money. Or you can just sponsor some criminal activities or pay some rebels or some armed groups, give them money, millions, and weapons.
Like I said, by the sword. When Esau cried out for his blessing, Isaac told him, you're going to be in the fat places of the earth. Congo is one of them, but you're going to be there with the sword.
So they can start mayhem in an area that's rich so that you can fly your little airplane and go collect whenever you like some of the good that you need. So you can either come officially, pay a lot of money, or you can sponsor this armed group and come pay little money and get the good that you're looking for. That is the reason why the Congo is at war. Now, Ibrahim Traoré said it's been a long time. You're not doing anything. Okay? Why isn't the African Union done something to the Congo? Why haven't you brought weapons and soldiers together to go and fight in the fight and find a solution? Why is he saying that? Because, well, a few months ago, when Niger's government was changed and it was replaced by the military government, the current government, ECOWAS, which are these countries here, came together with an idea to go and topple the president that just came into Niger. Why? Because they were good friends with the previous president. So ECOWAS is actually capable of bringing together soldiers and military. Oh, we never knew that. Now, how come you've never reacted when terrorists were attacking Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali? No, you never reacted to that, but you're now ready to bring soldiers together, logistics and money to go and fight the people.
Okay.
Everyone is calling this the new $1 billion.
Let that fun mate.
People that are fighting the bad guys? That's weird. Now he's asking, why can't Africans come together, put an army together? Because clearly you're capable of doing it. If you were able to come together and thought about the idea of going to attack Niger.
There is a extreme determination by our heads of state and government to put an end to it and to make an example of Niger, to make sure that never again are we going to allow the disruption of the region's move towards democratic consolidation in our region.
Africans were ready to go attack Niger. Niger just freed itself from colonialism. I'm just being honest with you. But they are not able to create an army to go and fight all these places where there are mayhem, like Congo and Sudan. Does that make sense to you? Oh, so you can come and topple people that are trying to make things right, but you're not capable of coming together as one person to fight the bad people. That is weird. Let's continue.
Il y a trois mots, trois grands vices qu'il faut bannir de nos comportements et de notre vie. Je parle de la lâcheté, la traîtrise et l'incompétence.
3 things we need to ban. It's cowardness, treachery, and incompetence. 3 things Africans need to fight. This is what he said.
Il y a quelques jours de cela, un pays étranger à l'Afrique a annoncé ouvertement avoir soutenu et participé à une attaque lâche, terroriste et barbare contre des forces de notre confédération à Tinzaouatene. L'Union africaine n'a plus aucun mot pour condamner cette ingérence d'un État extérieur à l'Afrique dans les affaires internes de nos États. Je souhaiterais qu'ils l'entendent et qu'ils sortent donc de leur...
Crazy, absolutely insane. He said it's been a couple of days. There was a foreign state that claimed openly to have participated in an attack that claimed many lives of Africans in the African continent. And none of these people, he's talking about the African Union, opened their mouth to condemn this thing. Let me give you context. A while back, a Ukrainian official spoke on a video saying that they orchestrated an attack that happened in Mali. This attack was by rebels in Mali fighting the government. The Ukrainian was saying they provided intelligence services to these people. They gave them the weapons and the strategy on how to utilize at best the tactic they gave them.
The fact that the rebels received the necessary information that allowed them to conduct a successful operation against Russian war criminals, the whole world had already seen this. This is sensitive information. Therefore, everything that Ukraine does is happening within the limits and within the framework of international law.
So the goal for the Ukraine was to hurt Wagner. Wagner was...
Did anybody hear that? Say that the Ukrainians, they over there getting drove, kicked all over the place by the Russians, but he said that they the ones that sent the intelligence to try to topple Mali. Let that permeate. Ukrainians, okay?
Working with the Malians, okay? They have a contract. The Ukrainian wanted to help the rebels in Mali to hit Wagner. And by hitting Wagner, they also hit the Malian government soldiers. So as you can understand, this is a foreign country, foreign to Africa, a European country that's managing a group of rebels in Africa to hit African soldiers and unalive them. And none of Africans or the African Union left the little finger to blame or to accuse or condemn that action. He says this is treason. This is cowardice. This is incompetence. It is unacceptable. I mean, you and your brother can have issues. You can fight each other. You know? Yeah, it happens. But when somebody from outside comes into your issue, that's become something completely different. Like, I remember we grew up in a neighborhood. You can fight your neighbor. You go, oh yeah, whatever. But if somebody from outside comes here, hey, you forget your issue. You forget your beef. He says this is coward. This is cowardly of Africans. And I'm sorry, except for a few African countries and also the Moroccans and those, Arab countries in Africa. The Black Africans, they rarely fight for one another. They will see another person suffer, going through difficulties while they're watching. They're actually laughing while you're going through this. It's very sad. It's unacceptable.
Okay. Same thing with transatlantic slave trade. That's how we got over here. But anybody got any comments on that before we move on?
Shalom. When so at first with the first clip, when they're talking about Congo, that makes sense because remember when Biden had just went over there recently to visit with that railway, and so that makes sense. And then that since they're suing Apple for that $1 trillion because of the way they're getting exploited,
right?
And then my question, though, Brother Leonard, is you said the Ukrainians sent the intelligence to topple Mali, like you're saying, like currently, right?
Yeah. While like I said, we see what's happening to them. They getting smashed by the Russians, right?
Right.
Yeah, how you got time to be all over there trying to send intelligence to over in Africa?
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, that's crazy. It let you know it's a bigger picture going on. Oh yeah,
So,
exactly.
okay. So I got another question with that, brother Leonard. So has Ukraine and Russia, are they now back one and just have not came out and said that?
No. So I was
Okay.
telling you, the Zionists, you know the Zionists, all right?
Right. Yes, sir.
When you go, this is gonna come a lot more clear when we go into the lesson. But the Zionists is they Edomites. And they came from the Khazarian Empire, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
The Khazarian Empire is over there where Ukraine is.
Yeah,
Did
I
you know
just
that?
want to say that they weren't actually Khazarians. They took on the identity of Khazarians.
Who did?
The people you're talking about. They consider themselves Khazars, but if you look into it, they're not really Khazars. They just took that identity. Like everything else they stole.
Right. So let's look at that, because you mentioned earlier about the cycle, how they doing everything. They're using lies, treachery, and all that. They going in cycles. So
right.
When go to the book of Maccabees, we just talked about the Maccabees. So who are the Maccabees? The Maccabees.
Tribe of Judah.
Huh?
Tribe of Judah. No, weren't that made up mostly of the tribe of Judah?
No, the Edomites.
Edomites. Yes, sir.
The Edomites.
No. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about who were the Maccabees.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Maccabees.
Edomites.
Right. Josephus. Josephus are Edomite.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying that the books of Maccabees were talking about mostly the tribe of Judah, right? They were like warriors and stuff like that.
No. I was just talking earlier when Gabriel came in the book of Daniel and told Daniel that the Most High, the Lord of hosts, our Redeemer, our Savior, he tired of Israel. He sent y'all to Babylon for 70 years, but y'all came back with the same bull crap. So now his indignation that came to a full, he's going to destroy Israel. He's going to destroy the nation of Israel. He's going to destroy the temple. He's going to scatter you all over the whole world.
Right.
And we know now they books, they word too. And so we see in Daniel that he says he's going to destroy the temple. It's going to be wars and desolations, and the temple going to be destroyed. Right.
Right.
What did the Maccabees do? Didn't they rededicate the temple?
Yeah.
They ain't no Israelites. They ain't prophecy. The Edomites. They always wanted the land of Israel. That's when they got it. That's what Obadiah telling you. When they came in, stole the land of Israel right there, they rededicated the temple. Remember when Nehemiah and them came back, they came to Nehemiah and said, we want to help you build a temple.
Right.
And Nehemiah said, you ain't having to do with the temple. So in the book of Obadiah, the opportunity presented itself. That's why he said, in the time of their calamity, when the nation came to an end, Esau came in and stole the land of Israel by lot, and they built the temple, Herod's temple.
Right.
The Edomites.
You keep saying Edomites. I want to ask a question about that, because I mean, obviously, from what I understand, the issue in this time, and it's very, very clear that it has to do with Jacob and Esau, one that's older than the other, one that rules the fat of the earth in the end, but then the younger brother takes over, which is between Esau and Jacob. But Esau's DNA is E1B1B. His DNA has nothing to do with those other people, like the Japheth and the people in Israel that are now Israel. So
right. So that's cool. That's cool, fine and dandy. But like I was saying before, you have to understand what you got to deal with what the Lord of hosts said.
Yeah.
Once you find out who he is, see what I'm saying? Right. That's already a task in itself. Once you find out who he is. So he said that when Isaac, go back to Isaac and Jacob and the blessings, he told Esau, Esau cried for a blessing. He said, you're gonna have the fat places of the earth. Same thing he told Jacob. But you're gonna get the fat places of the earth by the sword. And you're gonna break your brother's yoke off your neck. Right?
Right.
So Obadiah, that's when he broke the yoke off his neck. So I don't give a damn if you E1C or E1D. That's Esau. Because right there, he broke the yoke off his neck. He cast the yoke off
Esau.
his neck.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that it is Esau. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that it's Esau. But
right, that's what the Maccabees is.
So you're saying those that are under the bloodline of Japheth, that they're also part of that?
Yeah. That's when they assumed our identity right there. They came in and and from that point on, they posed themselves as Israelites. So that's who in the land during the time with so-called JC. Them Edomites in the land. If you go to John, remember when John was talking and he said, and Jesus was talking to them, and he said that before Abraham was, I am he. You remember that?
Right. Yeah, of course.
And then they turned around and said that we've never been in no bondage. We never been in
I
bondage.
remember.
Well, that's Esau, because Jacob just came out of bondage in Egypt.
Well, they never worked a day in their lives, I think, these people. So yeah, that sounds about right.
So that's them. That's Esau. He always wanted the land. He broke the yoke off his neck, like Isaac said, and he acquired the land of Israel. That's them in the land of Israel. They got a perverted zeal. That's why Hadrian had to come in and backfill the land of Israel. He didn't want no more Jews coming there because these was nut buckets. They didn't have the spirit that was in Jacob and Joseph and all of them. They had a perverted zeal, and they was causing Rome all kind of problems. But like you said, to make it plain, in the book of Obadiah, in the Maccabees, it tells you that Alexander came, right? Who was Alexander's father?
Roman.
Philip.
Right.
Who was Philip's father?
Zepho.
No. So you got Edomites, just like they're doing today, Edomites controlling Japhet. The head of Japhet is Esau.
All right. That sounds more believable.
House is the Edomites.
Right. They stole the land. And then, like I said, they hoodwinked the scriptures by saying that they don't want you to understand. Like I said, when we go into the class, all this is gonna come back up. It's gonna be more plain. So they came in and got you thinking that that's Esau in the land of Israel in 70 AD. No, when you go to what Gabriel told Daniel, the indignation came to a full at the end of the Greek kingdom. Let's read it right quick. Let's read it. I'm in Daniel, the book of Daniel, right? So it says, okay, Daniel chapter 8. I think it is. Yeah, chapter 8. Let me get it. Let me see. Yeah, chapter 8. I'm starting at verse 18. This Gabriel came and talked with Daniel. Now, as he was speaking with me, Gabriel talking to Daniel, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of indignation, for at the time appointed, the end shall be. This end right here is not the end of the world. It's the end of Israel as a nation. He tired of them. He's gonna cut them off as a nation. Just scatter us, scatter his word, and destroy the temple. And he going back up to heaven. So it says, 20, the ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of the Medes and Persians, right? Like I say, this gonna come more apparent in a minute. But it says 22. Now, 21, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that between his eyes is the first king. That's Alexander. I just showed you. Alexander is a Edomite. He got control of Greece because of Zephno, right? 22. Now that being broken, whereas we in the third beast. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation, but not in his own power. But in the latter days of their kingdom, the Greek kingdom, at the end of the Greek kingdom, third beast, when the transgressions are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance, understanding dark sinners shall stand up. That's Antiochus in the book of Maccabees, first Maccabees. 24, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully. He shall prosper, practice, and he shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So who the holy people? Israel, right?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah.
Israel is the holy people. They got destroyed right here at the end of the third beast. Not in 70 AD. Now watch this. 25. And through his policies, this is why we where we at today. Through his policies also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many, and he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hands. All that's in Maccabees. The Lord of hosts killed him in front of his whole army. This is the Antichrist. They done superseded him, got you waiting on him in the future, but this is the Antichrist right here. He destroyed Israel. He destroyed the temple and Israelites. And it go more in detail in First Maccabees. And then Esau came in and stole the land when this happened. At the time of Israel calamity, when the nation came. So they fled from here with JC. They got JC telling you that, but we know it was in the book of Daniel. JC said, when you see this happen, flee to the mountains. Where it happened right here. They fled into Africa. Right here, when Antiochus came and destroyed the nation of Israel. So Esau stole the land, and from that point on to 70 AD, that's Esau in the land of Israel. Nobody seems to know this. But this is where Esau was in the land of Israel. That's when the books got hoodwinked. And JC is Caesarian. Julius Caesar and Cleopatra got together, had a son of God, because she was a god, and Julius Caesar was considered a god while he was alive. So when they had Caesarion, he was the son of God. When Augustus came, she sent him to a monastery up in the Himalayas mountains. That's where the 18 missing years at. Then at 30 years old, he came back to Jerusalem. That's who JC is. An Edomite. So like I was saying before, that's what that's all about. And then Christianity and all that is predicated off of that. That's when Christianity came about. When he didn't live, they killed him. Augustus Caesar killed him. He killed him. And then that's when they made this religion. Based off of that. But like I said before, it's right there in the scriptures. It's telling you in the scriptures. It was the third beast when Israel got destroyed. Okay? Yeah. Any comments?
I have to head out, guys. I was just asked to vacate the office because the person's leaving early today. So.
Oh, y'all gotta go? You gotta go?
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me up tomorrow.
Guys. I'm sorry?
Hit me up tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll hit you up tomorrow, man. Much love, guys. Shalom. Enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Okay. Yeah, so anybody got any comments on that before we're gonna go into the class? Yeah, so like I said, the topic inside the discussion is, inside the class, the topic for discussion is the truth about Zoroaster. So if you haven't seen those videos, earlier videos, when I first got on YouTube, I was breaking down how Christianity is an amalgamation of Buddhism. When the Greeks first came, because the Greeks ruled for a long time. A lot of people don't know that, and the Greeks were good for synchronizing everything. They come into a country and what they already had, they were synchronizing with the culture that they come and conquered. So that's how Christianity came into existence. So when Alexander stopped his conquest, he was in Buddha. He was in India with Buddhism. That's why JC got on the thing on him, the toga like a monk. And then you have to go back and you got to go and do your own research on that and find out how Buddhism go. They had a thing called the Way, the 10 ways of Buddhism. That's where you get this the way and all that stuff is predicated off of Buddhism. But I was listening to this video by this brother a couple of days ago, and then it tied into Zoroastrianism, whatever that is. But when you understand what Zoroastrianism is, it came about with, that's what I told you the other day about. The Most High used Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes to deliver the Israelites out of Babylon. Well, Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, they believe in Zoroastrianism. That's the third beast. Okay? So what this brother did was went into the actual factuals of what Zoroastrianism is. And it's gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna play a video, and when you want me to stop it in a certain place, I stop it. But I'm gonna play it so we can get some meat out of it. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Greetings once more. Greetings to everyone. In the precious name of our Father Almighty, Sunini Nanini Samandla.
It's crazy.
He is the mighty one of Abraham, the mighty one of Issachar, and the mighty one of Akobi. Welcome to the show tonight. The show where we study the scriptures and remember the Bible is Black history. If your ancestors were scattered via the transatlantic slave trade or the Mohammedan Arabic Islamic slave trade, then you and I are the biological descendants of the people they call in the Bible Abraham, Issachar, and Akobi. Welcome.
So I remember, like I said, I also got a video on 16 crucified saviors. You had 16 crucified saviors, dying and rising saviors, was predicated off of the Son before Jesus came. He the last one. And so Zoroaster is one of them, right? And notice they was dealing with Zoroaster when the second beast. Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes dealing with Zoroastrianism.
To the show tonight. If you're joining us from the Pacific Islands, Australia, New Zealand, or even from the troubled Arab, Asian, and European lands, welcome tonight. And if you're joining us from the Caribbean Islands, North and South America, or even Antarctica, you are also welcome tonight. If you're joining us from the most precious real estate on earth, the Holy Land, Al-Kebu land, Azania, Sub-Saharan Africa, the Promised Land, the land of Canaan, welcome tonight. We give thanks and praise to Almighty Sunini Nani, and welcome to this new series, Africa is the Holy Land, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. What all of these religions have in common with Zoroastrianism. Just want to make sure I don't butcher the word. Zoroastrianism. Okay. While I was looking for where, if the Jews said that they converted in the 9th century, somewhere around there, then what did they convert to? Because they hadn't been in contact with us at this point in terms of our culture and our people. What did they convert to? But they said they converted to Judaism. So Judah is the son of Jacob. How did they get to know Judah to convert to him? Why, the question is tonight, why is the religion one of the oldest religions on earth, Zoroastrianism, have so many similarities with Judaism?
Check it out.
It existed in the same space where Judaism existed. It got similarities with Islam, and it got similarities with Christianity. And so we will examine this religion and see what we can find out about the Khazars and the religion that they adopted.
Ukraine.
It's interesting. As you dig deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, the things that are showing up in there is not very palatable. But nevertheless, we have to go there because we need to help our brothers and our sisters gain a better understanding of how we got into the space that we find ourselves into. All right. So tonight, it is the introduction to the new series, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, what they have in common with Zoroastrianism. Now, you have seen the poster. I'm just going to bring it up again, and we're going to introduce this topic tonight, and it will be the beginning of a new series. But each of the series are built upon the backs of the previous series. So when we were asking who are the Jews, and we know that these are the Khazars, and the Khazars, they say in the 9th century, somewhere there, they converted to a religion that is not Islam and it is not Christianity, but is similar to both. And then we're finding this religion, Zoroastrianism, that has all the elements long before Christianity.
Check it out.
Long before Judaism. This religion has the marks of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Why is this religion carrying those markers? And this is what we shall examine. Like I said, this religion originated in the Persian Empire. And while I was doing this examination, a little bit of research into this, I've also learned that King Cyrus, you know, there's affinity with Judaism and a fascination with this Persian king, Cyrus. And we even hear that Trump is the new Cyrus for the children in the Levant, the children of Israel. And so these things became fascinating, and we said to just go in and find out what's in there. And when you go in there, you see some strange things. So the Khazars, Zoroastrianism, and Judaism, the introduction. The introduction. And so this Persian religion, which was practiced by Cyrus the Great and Darius, is an Iranian religion, a very old religion. And as you see the symbol up there, I know that you have seen these wings before. You have seen these wings before.
Babylon.
And you're going to see more symbols. And we're going to talk about the life of this man here. They call him Zoroaster. And what are the teachings of this religion and why all of most of the teachings of this religion is.
So before Jesus came, just like we worshiping him, back then, Zoroaster they worship Zoroaster the same way they worship JC now. He was a dying and rising savior. But watch how it play out.
It's evident in Judaism. And then we know that the Khazars live in this very vicinity and would have been familiar with this religion. And you will see how they transfer the practices, lots of the practices of Zoroastrianism
Synchronization
into Judaism. And that's why the question was, did they convert or did they create the religion, Judaism, on the back of Zoroastrianism and a blend that they found among the culture of the Bantu people? And maybe for this reason, they had to shift this story into a space where you wouldn't recognize it, or you think it is something new, but it's something that they have always been familiar with.
Exactly.
It's a European, Euro-Asian,
exactly,
Euro-Arab people and their religions that found its way. And you might be surprised to know that the virgin birth originated in Zoroastrianism.
Tie your shoes up.
Interesting. Okay. So, in the space where the Black and Caspian Sea was located, where we made reference to the Khazars, if I can back up a little, I might be able to show you that.
Ukraine.
Briefly again. If I can back up there. Try to keep them on the same slide, so when I need them, I can just go back there. We're going back into the space and the map. Right. In the same vicinity here, you find that this is where the Khazars occupied. And so they would have been familiar with this religion. This religion has influenced Hinduism. It's influenced most of the religions in the East. It was very old. So old that people might not be able to say, researchers might not be able to accurately say when it started. But it's older than Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and it influenced them. You know, when I tell you about the Bantu languages that they copied from, and you get to see how they take a word in from the Bantu languages or from the ancient Aramaic, Paleo-Bantu, and they bring it into their language. One of the words that are found there that is interesting is Farsi. And you can hear Farsi with H inside. And so you begin to wonder, why these things are sounding so similar? Why is Zoroaster promoting the virgin birth? That somebody's going to come and they're going to be born of a virgin and they're going to be the savior of the world. And when you look at the doctrines of Christianity, which is similar in Judaism and similar to some extent in Islam, you ask yourself, was it this Eastern religion of the Persian Empire that was a precursor for the religions that we as a people, a Black people, got connected with?
Right.
We will see as we delve deeper and deeper into the religion and the religions and the influences. So keep your eye on the wings, and then you'll get to understand a few things. It says here that the religion, it shaped the ancient Iran. It shaped ancient Iran or the Iranian Empire. And if you know the Bible story, it was Medes and the Persians that took over, defeating the Babylonian Empire. The Babylonian Empire was located in Africa, in East Africa. And when the Medes and the Persians defeated them, Cyrus, King Cyrus, reigned from the lands you know today as Algeria and Tunisia. They came and set up their headquarters in Susa. So they came over and they set up the empire, but they ruled over Babylon in East Africa. And they had a different God. And so when we begin to read the scriptures and as we go deeper, we're going to hear that when Cyrus is referred to as the King of Kings. It is in this Zoroaster religion and to which Cyrus owed his reverence. So when he talked about the God of heaven, he wasn't talking about Sunini Nanini. You see, as you go deeper into this thing, you're beginning to see the reason why you need to really detach yourself from these religions.
Exactly.
Because it's not what you think it is. I think they call the God Aru Mazda. We're going to get there. And so the car that bears the name Mazda is the name of a deity, an Iranian deity. And that was the name of the God to which Zoroaster paid allegiance, and to which King Cyrus and Darius, the Persians and the Medes, which is the Iranian Empire, paid its allegiance. You might be interesting to know too that the concept of one God is present in that ancient religion as well. The concept of heaven and earth, the concept of good and evil. They all find a place in this religion. You see, what I continue to teach you is that our ancestors never had a religion. They were not subscribing to a religion. They were just living their lives as normal people. And a record was made of their lives. And it was that record that became the Bantu scrolls that the Eastern Europeans took a hold of and twisted it and mingled it with this Persian Iranian religion. So Zoroaster, as his name began to be known in the English, in the Greek and so on, pronounced different in the Iranian language. His teachings influenced Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And you're going to get to see the nature of the things that he taught. But the origin of this religion is in Iran. And hence you see the anger that the children of Israel has for the Iranians. They view them with contempt.
Okay.
Because they seem to have influenced their lives throughout the course of history. The religion became the religion of the Khazars, influenced by the Khazars. And the Khazars couldn't have it like that. They named it Judaism. And to get that, they created from a concoction of Zoroaster and what they got out of the Bantu scrolls,
That's
and they
right.
created a unique name for themselves.
Bingo.
Israel. Like they did with the word Israel, which is three deities, Isis, Ra, and El. Just like they did with the word Hebrew, which is a derogatory way of referring to.
Okay, got some?
Yes, sir. Shalom. Did he say the Bantu scrolls?
Yeah, he's Bantu is
Like African tribe?
no. The Bantu is Israelites. They call them Bantu.
Right. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, yes, sir. That's what I meant.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right.
To Eber, but with an H.
And they call the Lord of Hosts Nini Sanini. That's what you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Heber. Instead of E-H-E-B-E-R. And it's that word Eber with an H in front of it, and the last two letters reversed, added W to it, where you get the word Hebrew from.
right.
And when you want to make a Jew now, you take off the first four letters from H-E-B-R-E, H-E-B-R, and then you put a J, and you get J-E-W. It's made up.
Right.
It's genetically alteration of words,
Exactly.
genetically alteration of religions, genetically alteration of genes.
Exactly.
No creations, alterations.
That's
And
why
when
you
they
love
alter
JC.
it, they then own it and say,
That's why these Negroes love JC.
this is mine. They alter society to the place where society makes a statement that is negative. They consider it to be negative. They are branded with words that they have created, like anti-Semitism. And so in the space in Iran in the 6th century, somewhere in that vicinity, this religion of Zoroastrianism was very well known and was practiced by India, practiced very often China.
So this what I was just the point right here, what I was talking about. Well, I was talking earlier when Joseph was on the line. See, it's a gap in between when Gabriel told Daniel that we got in the third beast, at the end of the third beast when Antichrist came, and then we was kicked out of the land. We left. Esau stole the land, but what they done is they done synchronized everything to make it look like those are the same people. They took out the part where Antiochus came and we fled into Africa. And then they turned around and put that over there with JC saying it. That in 70 AD they fled in Africa. They used all that, and we missing this part. Like I said, when you go to when they was in Babylon, Haman was there. Edomites is in the land of with Artaxerxes. Edomites was there, and they tried to destroy the Israelites at that point. But because of Esther and how the Most High used Esther and Mordecai, they usurped the Edomites and they turned on them. Well, they fled and went to they fled and went to Greece. But before they fled, they got this Zoroaster. They was in Persia too. They got this religion, Zoroastrianism. They got it. They didn't attach themselves to it. Not only that, they didn't pick up the ways of the Greeks. So Israel the prophecy of Israel being cast out in the third beast, that didn't happen. So here they come into the land, but they got Zoroastrianism, which eventually became Judaism, and then from Judaism you get Christianity. Okay.
In the whole of the Far East there, it was practiced. And they would have come into contact with this, but created a brand for themselves.
Exactly.
It's all about branding.
Exactly.
and the brand that they create out of this religion and others that they found around the space.
And then people say that there's no way that somebody could have concocted everything that's in the New Testament, right? Well, who behind it? Who behind this? Lord else. He already told us, I'm gonna cause you to lose your identity and your heritage. So who orchestrating it? The sharpest person on the planet. Come on.
Not Christianity and Islam, they came after, was the Zoroastrianism. And they made a good blend of it with the Bible. So that many practices that you see in the Bible, especially on sacrifices.
Check it out.
Where the blood took preeminence over, or in the ritual, the blood took preeminence. It was influenced by ancient practice and had nothing to do with what the Bantu was doing. And hence the reason why we are re-examining everything.
Got to.
And I know I'm going to be spoiling off a conversation here and research into the space where people are going to go looking and understanding, and they're going to say, wow. When you get to go into this, you're going to say, wow.
Wow.
The Holy Spirit is there. Like I said, the virgin birth is there. Satan is there. Arumas is there. That's the name of their God. But what is the power? The most critical thing here is that religion has influenced the Catholic Church, Islam, and Judaism. But now it is practiced by about maybe just under 100,000 people. But it's already left an indelible impression on the religions of the world. My prayer is that you would see the religions of the world through a new eye. And hence, they want to attribute what happens in Christianity exclusively to the Bantu scrolls and Father Abraham.
Abraham. You got nothing to do
But
with it.
they hide in the space. Quietly, they hide in the back. Zoroastrianism, which was this pagan religion that influenced all of these. Monotheism. The doctrine of monotheism. The belief in one God.
One God. Come on. Is that something?
It's present in Zoroastrianism.
Is that something?
The concept of heaven and hell. The Messiah. Final judgment. Even the resurrection. As you see spread out in the New Testament. And you remember the scribes and the Pharisees. Those who adhere to the religion of Zoroastrianism, they were referred to as Pharisees. And so that's why when people add up the words like Messiah and these things, they have this strange combination, ending up with 666 and all of these things.
Exactly. Nut buckets.
It was the belief of this deity, Guru Master, that Zoroaster got the impression of the monotheistic view, the belief in one God. Now, if you look into the Bible, you might want to consider Zoroaster as Moses. And leading the people, and promising them taking them to the promised land and promising a new day, a day where there will be no evil. Now, this is the teachings of Zoroastrianism. Now, but when we examine, as we will do, this is on the introduction, we will examine the profound influence on Judaism. Why did Judaism borrow so much from Zoroastrianism? And so when we consider this, and our brothers, the Black Hebrew Israelites, and us that were involved in it, it seems as though there were a set of things that we got involved in.
Exactly.
That was deliberate traps for us.
Exactly.
Remember, I spoke just recently on the 6-pointed star, the 6 triangles, and the hexagram, 666. And then here we see our Black Hebrew Israelites, brother, not tying with the blue one, they're tying with the red one, the one that existed before the blue one.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that they know the origin of that. But that's
yeah. So this video is you want to check it out. It's Africa is the Holy Land, and then Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, and Zoroastrianism. That's the name of the video. You can go back and watch it and let that permeate. I'm gonna try to find this one particular part that I want you to hear. I'm gonna play the whole thing. Right. Let's get it.
Spiritual version of these concepts, and then the physical version of the same concept. This is how it is translated in the real world or into the material realm. And because this is introduction, I'm not going to keep you too long in it. I want to just put a couple of things in your mind as we prepare for this series. It's originating in Persia.
So, like I said, remember what I said over and over again. Malachi, the book of Malachi, the last book of the Tanakh, is in the Persian Empire. The third beast is not in the scriptures. When you go to pick up in the New Testament, you're picking up in the fourth beast. So all this what his brother talking about and what I'm talking about, it ain't nobody getting it. They had to take that out in order for you to introduce you to JC. So like I said, the Lord of Hosts used Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes to free the Israelites. That's the second beast. That's the end of our scriptures. So they say. That's all the information we got. Then we come back and pick up in the New Testament, we in the fourth beast. All this right here that's being revealed, it ain't in the scriptures.
And as the empires change hand, the religions will change hand. But this was an old Persian, Iranian religion. And so, like I said, I could understand that it took over the whole so-called Middle East.
Exactly.
Because if you look up here, this is going to be the Black Sea. Here's going to be the Black Sea. And
Russia. Russia.
Here's going to be the Black Sea area, and there's going to be the Caspian Sea.
That's why they know so much.
The Khazars are here. This is where the Khazars are, a part of the Khazaria, and in the 6th century. So they no doubt would have embraced this religion. They would have known about it. Right. And what they sought to do now is to blend it years after with the Bantu scrolls.
Right, synchronized.
And they have this version that look like Christianity, a little bit like Islam, but you don't get to know that it was connected
right
to Zoroastrianism.
got
That's
finger
what the
in your ear.
Khazars had.
They got the finger in
And
your
the
ear.
Khazars tell the world that Judaism is based on the Bible.
Mm.
But there's no biblical locations around here. And that's why they had to create the biblical locations to facilitate this new religion. That's why they had no land for this religion and this people, because these people are Eastern Europeans.
Exactly. Ukraine.
Iran stayed in still ancient Persia is still Iran. The Medes and the Persians, they still exist, but they adapted and they created, not adapted, they created a religion out of Zoroastrianism and what they saw in the Bantu scrolls. And so there's no people to connect that. There's no ancient people to connect that Judaism with. We didn't do that. Our ancestors did not do Judaism. And so they left with a religion, but they can't embed it in a location. And the Iranians know that. And that's why the Iranians keep them at bay, because the Iranians know
exactly
that the religion to which they're subscribing is a brand of Zoroastrianism.
Right. That's why right now what we're looking at is Iran is a powder keg. It's because of this.
And that they can't settle because there is no land for that practice. The Zoroastrianism is a Persian religion. But now you create a version of a Persian religion and you're trying to home it. You want to put land to it. And so you see in the Balfour Declaration,
Therefore,
with
there it is.
Arthur Balfour and Lord Rothschild,
Right.
and the other one was the Zionist leader.
Right. I know you're talking about Hessel.
Let me just go back
Hassel.
and get his name.
Hassel. Herzl.
Herzl.
There it is.
So Herzl is his family is from Bulgaria,
Exactly.
Belgrade. Sorry.
Ukraine.
This is in the east there, and all of them know the religion, and you can see the connection physically, the facial expression. And so these people now have to change their names to coincide with this new identity that they created through Judaism.
So let's look at something right quick. Like I was saying, the most Lord of Hosts told Lord of Hosts is our Redeemer and our Savior, not JC. He told David, "You're gonna die because you're human. I'm gonna be your children that come out of your loins. I'm gonna be their father because he's the eternal being." Right? So all this right here, who you think exposing this? The Lord of Hosts. He exposing this. He know. This is how it's being exposed now. And there's no other way for it to be exposed.
Iranians are saying, don't bring it here because that's not us. And so you can't bring it onto the continent of Africa because it's going to be very glaring. That's not us. But so they convince the children of the continent through the religion of Christianity to accept the teachings of Zoroastrianism, especially in the New Testament. And then accept.
So, like I said, Zoroaster. You get Zoroaster, you get Zoroastrianism. So he's a dying and rising deity, just like JC, they concocted. Synchronization. Zoroaster is Horus. That's what you gotta understand. So when you come and typing in bullshit on this line, you off. You way off. You ain't did your homework. Creator ain't dealing with you. You off. Come on. So, like I say, this video is Africa is the Holy Land, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, Zoroaster. You can, watch it, check it out. So he got it's the stuff in there. He was talking about how JC came in existence. It's all right there in Zoroastrianism about the manger and all that. It's tied to Zoroastrianism. Okay. Anybody in the comments or anything before we go?
And so you said it's from that Zori, I can't say the word. The Zori.
Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism. Right.
Okay, so from that to Judaism to Christianity.
Right. That's from the Edomites. Like I was saying, you had Israelites in Babylon and you had Edomites in Babylon. He delivered the remnant, like he told Jeremiah, he delivered the remnant. They went back to Israel. But you had Edomites there too. Remember Haman?
Right, yes, sir.
Haman tried to kill the Israelites, but the Lord of hosts turned it on them. So they started killing the Edomites. Well, they fled. They fled from Israel, but they got this religion with them now. That's how they intermingled. Zora, remember, he was raised by Abraham too.
Right, yes, sir.
So now they didn't mingle Zoroastrianism. That's how you get Judaism. Judaism don't have nothing to do with us. So that's what and then Judaism, all that tied to the Pharisees. That's them in the land of Israel. That's how we get what we got today through Esau.
Shalom, Brother Lynn, but he was saying something about how we came about with Hebrew.
He was explaining how you get the word, how they twisted up to understand the Hebrew, and they got the word Jew.
Okay.
A Jew is not an Israelite. Yeah, they want you to think that, but a Jew ain't no Israelite. Abraham was a Hebrew. He wasn't no Jew.
Right, but from my understanding, and I'm asking this as a question, Brother Leonard, from my understanding, though, they try to say since Judah is the royal priesthood of the Israelites, they're trying to say that Jew is like a nickname for the tribe of Judah, right?
Yeah, but there ain't no connection to that. Judah,
right? That's what I thought.
It's spelled totally different. Judah is spelled J-U-D-A-H. Jew is spelled J-E-W. It's like he was just showing you. It's more tied to a twisted version of Hebrew rather than Judah.
Right, and that hence the whole word is Jewish.
Right, exactly. Which means partially.
Right.
Right. He ain't no real, he's mingled. Right. And that's what it got us at. Like I said before, when you understand what Gabriel told Daniel, that the prince that was gonna come was Antiochus. He destroyed the nation of Israel, ran the Israelites out. They fled into Africa. That was way back in 143 BC. So what they telling you in 70 AD, there was Jews that left. We know a Jew and a Hebrew and a Judean is totally different. There was Edomites in the land of Israel in 70 AD, and they fled from and the Roman Empire allowed them gave them safe passage to Portugal. In 70 AD, they gave them safe passage to Portugal. The Hebrew was in Africa. He had been in Africa. And so Look where the transatlantic slave trade started from. It started from Portugal, these Edomites. Spain and Portugal, that's where they allowed them to go to when he released them from Israel in 70 AD. He gave them safe passage to Spain and Portugal. The 3 ships that went to America was from Spain. The Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Marina came from Spain. Edomites. The 13 colonies over in America was Edomites. That's how we've been hoodwinked. They came over here looking for a new Jerusalem. That's what these Negroes, all I'm talking about, America is Israel. The Edomites are the ones fashioned all that. They came over here naming all these different places over here after the names of Hebrew of our Israelite kingdom when they got here. They the ones with that 10 tribes lie about the 10 tribes came to America. That's a lie. The 10 tribes in Africa. They left Syria and they didn't want to go back to the land of Israel because they knew it was there was too much drama there. So they left the land of Assyria and they went to Africa, in west coast of Africa, where the slave ships came to. And when the southern kingdom fled, when Antiochus came, they already knew where their brethren was at. They went up to the top part of the Mediterranean, and then they came down through. Eventually, they was held up for a long time because of the Sahara Desert. Then eventually, they found a way to get through the Sahara Desert, and they came down to West Africa, where the rest of their brothers was at, which is Negro land. And then the prophecies that about us going into captivity and the curses overtook us right there on the west coast of Africa. They brought us over here. The people that left in 70 AD, they went to Spain and Portugal, the Edomites. Like the brother breaking down, they got Zoroastrianism, which has been canceled out. We don't even know this until now. Most High are uncovering it, but Judaism came from Zoroastrianism. Zoroaster is one of the 16 crucified saviors. Just like we worship in JC now, back then they was worshiping Zoroaster. The same way they worship in JC now. And before that, Mithras. And before that, Horus. Oh yeah. So when you sit here and you connecting yourself to JC, come on, man, you got a long way to go. Like my man said, two roads diverge in the woods. Come on, you out. Come on. Any comments, questions?
Bless you, Brother Leonard. It takes a lot to understand and break down and go all these many places. So just bless you, sir.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I was thinking about that earlier too, Sarge. I was like, this is advanced Bible. Sure.
That's something.
Yes, sir.
It ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I feel blessed to understand it and to be able to follow.
Oh yeah. Right. And like I was saying, I got videos, them earlier videos on Prophets of Awakening. I was already breaking all this down about Buddhism and all that. Like I said, that's why JC got on the toga, because when the Greeks got there, that's how you get Christianity, from Buddhism. And from this part right here, what the brother breaking down about Zoroastrianism, is just another link. But he got on the toga and all that because of they predicated, it's been synchronized with Buddhism. And like I said, with when you start looking at those Greek so-called philosophers, Plato and all of them. That's all that is. They got all that information. They got it from Buddhism, and they got it from Egypt. When Alexander was doing his conquest, first of all, Alexander's objective was he was tutored by Plato or Socrates, and then Socrates put it in his mind to conquer the world and do all this stuff. So he went from that to he went out, and his objective was they was homosexuals. It's in their DNA. So his objective was to conquer the world. Everywhere he went, every country that he conquered, he built a city called Alexandria. It's a homosexual city. Everywhere he went, he started out with like some like 500, 600,000 Greeks with him. Every time he came to a city and conquered it, he left a bunch of Greeks there. He went from one place to the next. He created all these Alexandrias. That's how you get Alexandria, Egypt. He went to Egypt, he conquered the Egyptians, and he built a city called Alexandria, homosexual city, and built a library there. But nobody, nobody, they ain't registered in their mind. Then he had another Alexandria up in the Himalaya Mountains, like I was saying. That's what Caesarion come in at. And Cleopatra, she an Edomite. So when Augustus came to kill Caesarion, which is Julius Caesar, he an Edomite. He came to kill his son because he was the rightful heir of the Roman Empire. Cleopatra sent him to a monastery up in the Himalaya Mountains at 12 years old. That's where he was there for 18 years. Then at 30 years old, he came back to Jerusalem looking for his brothers, his two brothers and sisters, which is Mary Magdalene, John, and Thomas. They took that out of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? They took out history because if you had it in the history books, you'll connect the dots. You'll see that it's what happened. But they don't want you to know that. Right. And so, like I said, when they killed him, that's when Christianity was created. They created a code off of when they killed Caesarion, when Augustus killed him. He wasn't resurrected. Augustus killed him. Because when he came back, they thought he was dead. He was rightful heir. That's why everybody was following him everywhere he went. They realized that he was causing all this havoc everywhere he went. So Augustus had to kill him. And then they made a cult out of it after they killed him. They didn't smooth all that over 2,500 years. They didn't smooth all that over to, like he said, that he wondered at the beast because they didn't smooth it out. Now it's shining. They didn't smooth it all over. Oh yeah. And like I said before, it ain't for everybody. You want to keep on riding with JC, keep on riding with him. It's on you. It's all good. Like this something?
Sure.
Yeah. So everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go back and check out them those videos I first made about Christianity. I think it's one about the Greek New Testament. So, yeah, check them out. Because it's gonna tie right into what this brother's talking about. This is just another gap, a link, another piece to the puzzle where he breaking down. Yeah.
And yeah, you went in on that too. I remember that the series, The Uncomfortable Conversations, though.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, you went deep in those lessons too. Yeah, I gotta go back.
Right, and this tie right into it. This is the missing link. So I didn't play all of it, but he was talking about how that part about with the son and all that, and how all that different stuff with Mary and all that. That's all come out of Zoroastrianism. We synchronized with it. That's the missing link. We already pulled out the Buddhism part, because like I said, the way, when they talk about the way, that comes from Buddhism. And then when the sun is when they in Horus. When Horus was 12 years old, he taught in the temples in Memphis. And then the Greeks, the Egyptians, they personified the sun. They didn't say the sun was no sun. They personified it as a man. When the Greeks came, they took that concept and made a man out of it. That's how you get the Black Madonna and Child. All this, when you start looking at Buddhism and all those different religions that Greece came into, you can see how Christianity came into existence and JC came into existence. Oh yeah. Hard to believe, but it's right there. And like I said before, our forefathers, the prophets and all them, they talking to angels, highly intelligent beings. So that means they had to be highly intelligent. They weren't stagnated like we is. They was highly intelligent men. Like he said, men wonder that. Come on. We got a yoke of iron around our neck. Okay. Ain't there something? Shalom. We're gonna cut it off right there. We're gonna pick it up in the morning for our Shabbat class.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is, and the Godhead.